The Trump transition team down in Florida now says it's moving ahead after conducting a review into allegations that longtime advisor to President-elect Trump, Boris Epshteyn, might have attempted to use his influence over cabinet picks and get a personal profit. Former Missouri Governor Eric Greitens submitted a sworn declaration alleging Epshteyn led him to believe he must, quote, engage in business dealings with him. To be recommended for a role in the upcoming administration, Epshteyn has denied those claims. Our own Dan Klaidman joins us now. Dan, thanks for being here. Let's begin, Dan, by listening to Eric Trump, the president-elect's son, talk about this situation.
I've known Boris for years, and I've never known him to be anything but a good human being. So that said, I will tell you, my father has been incredibly clear. You do not do that under any circumstance. And believe me, there will be repercussions if somebody was. So I've never seen that side of him. I've known him for a very long time, and I certainly hope the reporting's false. And I can also tell you, if it's true, the person will probably no longer be around.
Dan, great to have you here. Let's step back for a second. So Boris Epshteyn, he is someone who is well known to people who cover President-elect Trump. People who've covered him for a long time knows he's a constant presence, especially on the legal side of the Trump world, in terms of advising Trump on his legal challenges, whether it be his legal team, getting lawyers to help him out with the criminal investigations, the civil trials, et cetera. Boris also has a personal relationship with Eric Trump. They went to college together here in Washington. And he is someone who's really become a confidant of Trump going back now at least 5, 6, 7 years, if not more, going back to the 2016 campaign. He was working very closely with Rudy Giuliani in 2020 when Trump was contesting the 2020 election. So with all of that backstory, what have you learned in your reporting about what Epshteyn is being accused of by some Trump allies of doing during this transition?
Yeah, well, what we learned was that there was a tremendous amount of concern within the Trump transition about Boris Epshteyn doing exactly this and approaching multiple people to solicit financial payment in exchange for helping them get appointments or nominations. We focused on Eric Greitens, as you mentioned in the introduction, because we were able to along with our partner from Just the News, a conservative outlet, obtain a copy of this sworn declaration. I interviewed Greitens. He said that he was quite concerned about the interactions that he had with Epshteyn, that it was clear to him that Epshteyn was seeking financial payment in exchange for securing some kind of a nomination or appointment for Greitens. And Greitens told me that he wanted to bring this to the transition because he wanted to protect the president, because he was concerned about the ethics of all of this. But there were other examples that others have also reported on, including Scott Bessent, who is the nominee for Treasury Secretary, who was also allegedly approached by Boris Epshteyn. They had a confrontation, apparently, somewhere in Mar-a-Lago about this. So word was getting around, and ultimately, Susie Wiles, the co-campaign manager who's working on the transition, brought in a lawyer to investigate and review these claims, and then the story broke.
Are you hearing anything from federal officials or investigators about what could be on the horizon here, if anything?
We have not heard that there is any federal investigation into this. And I think it's important to note that this review was not a criminal investigation. It is more of an ethical investigation. It's not clear at all that anything that Boris Epshteyn did would have been illegal. I mean, this is the kind of lobbying that you often see in Washington. I have to say I haven't seen it inside a transition. So I think this may rise to another level. The idea of selling appointments or profiting on these kinds of appointments is new, as far as I know, but certainly not criminal.
Dan Klaidman, thank you for your reporting. We appreciate it. I'm sure this story will continue. We'll keep tabs on it.